Racer, he's a demon on wheels. He's a demon and he's gonna be chasing after someone. He's gaining on you, so you better look alive. He's busy revving up the powerful Mach 5. And when the odds are against him and they're dangerous work, bet your life's eraser, see it through. Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go! He's up and flying as he guns a car around the track. He's jamming down the pedal like he's never coming back. Adventure's waiting just ahead. Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go!
Alright guys, after that little intro, here we are with the finished product. The Polar Lights Speed Racer Mach 5. Finally completed. This is the Snap Tight kit, not the Glue Together kit, which are basically the exact same kits. The molds are the same, the bodies, the chassis. The main difference is the Glue Together kit has quite a few more parts to assemble than the Snap Together kit does. But the Glue Together kit has one very large error, which for me just kills that kit as far as one that I would want. Now, that huge error is the fact that they have the engine placed in the rear of the vehicle, when everyone who knows anything about Speed Racer knows that it is a front engine car. Because if you watch the show, Speed's little brother Spritle and Chim Chim the monkey hide out in the trunk, which is this small hatch here, when Speed takes off on one of his adventures. So that huge glaring error makes that Glue Together kit a no-go for me. And from what I found, the Snap Together kit, being the exact same mold as the Glue Together in the body and the chassis, and the interior, makes it just as good as the Glue Together as far as I'm concerned. Now, let's take a look at some of the modifications I've done. Okay, I just wanted to give you a look at the interior. For a Snap kit, this is a very nicely detailed interior. Multi-piece, and actually, as far as the kit goes, it actually brought seat belts, which you could paint and install on the seats. I didn't use them as mine seat belts were not molded correctly. If you watch this video series, I go into that and I show you how the issue with the seat belts. So what I did, as I do in most of my builds, is I made my own seat belts using seatbelt material that you can find at Hobby Lobby, and seatbelt buckles which are available from Model Car Garage. Gives a much more realistic appearance. So it's probably something I would have done anyway, whether the plastic molded seatbelts that I brought were the kit that came with the kit were usable or not. Now, my favorite detail that I added to this kit is the instrument cluster gauges, as this kit had nothing in the instrument cluster except a big blank empty space there, and I couldn't leave that way. So what I did was, these gauges are actually from the Starsky and Hutch Ford Gran Torino, one of my previous builds. I scanned them into my computer from the decal sheet that kit brought, and then I cut them out on photograph paper, which gave me the thickness I needed for the gauges. And then I took the chrome, what is that, Molly, I forget the name, chrome pen. You guys know what I'm talking about. I've used it a lot on my builds. And went around to create the chrome bezels around the instrument clusters, as is something you would have seen on a car of this vintage. Let's see if we can't just get a little better focus there. There we go. Oops, had it there for a second. Come on, focus. There we go. So those bezels are made with a chrome paint pen, and then I just glued all the gauges into place on an instrument cluster, and then boom, there we have it, full instrumentation. And then right next to that are photo etch details, again from Model Car Garage, for AC controls, a radio head unit, and a speaker in the center of the cluster there. Let's see if we can get that to focus. You can get a better look at that. Come on, focus, camera, focus. Sometimes this camera really doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. So you can see those are all photo etched bits and pieces. The rest just involved detail painting. As I said, it is a very nicely detailed interior. Here you can see the seats, with a bit of weathering done to them for some shadowing. I'm gotta say that the interior is one of my favorite parts of this kit. Oh, here we go. Better look at the gauges here. Let's give you another look at that. You can see even the steering wheel has all the buttons that Speed uses to pick the different molds the cars are going to be in. All that is painted with the chrome pen and the Tamiya black wash panel line paint to highlight all the details in the steering wheel. Even the door panels are decently detailed. All in all, even foot pedals. It's got all 3 pedals. Very nicely molded. You can just barely make them out down there. Gotta say that the interior I was very pleased with on this kit. Not something I would have expected from a snap together kit, but I was very happy with it. Now, as you might notice, Speed has a periscope that comes out of the car when he's driving it underwater, which, yes, he does on the show. So I decided I really like the periscope, so I was going to install it into this car. And so I did that. I did a little bit of detail painting to it with flat aluminum for the base of the periscope. Meanwhile, the piston that rises up and down is done with the matte aluminum bare metal foil. And then I use the chrome pen again to put the lens, which then I covered with some transparent blue from Tamiya to give the periscope lens so that Speed can see whatever he needs to see on the water. Now, as far as the windshield, I left the windshield unglued into this car, unsnapped in, as this car actually comes with 2 windshields. One is a completely enclosed canopy for when Speed is underwater, and one is the stock windshield. Now, one thing of note, when I was installing the windshield, this corner of the glass was a little bit too long and wouldn't fit on the body as it came into contact with the body, so you may have to trim that down if yours is the same, just to get the windshield to sit fully to the base where it's supposed to sit. Now let me show you what the other one looks like. Okay, and this is the bubble top canopy. As you can see, the glass is extremely clear, with just a little bit of distortion, mostly from the bubble top here as it molds into the lower part of the glass. But that allows the entire canopy to be enclosed, giving Speed the ability to travel underwater. Because, you know, racing a car, you never know when you're going to have to go underwater. Here you can see the interior a little bit better as it actually magnifies what's going on in there, so you can see it a little clearer. But it is a pretty neat little detail that they included in this kit. And since I really like the look of the periscope in the up position, I'm going to leave that there. And I can always just swap out the canopy for the regular windshield, you know, depending on how I want to display it. It's that simple. Alright, now let's take a look at a couple other things that I've modified on this kit. Okay, you followed my build, you know that I drilled out the wheels to give them true spokes, and then I installed